On today's Try to Finish Something, before I get into the build, I wanted to talk a little bit about last week's video. It was the winners of the Star Wars Art Challenge, and I wanted to thank, first of all, everybody that participated and sent stuff in. There were some really great entries into the contest. Even those that didn't make the top 10, fantastic work. Everybody, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and playing along in my stupidity. And playing along in my stupidity is something else that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to, again, thank the judges for all the hoops that I made them jump through and all of the participation that they wound up not realizing they were volunteering for to help me find out who the winners were. And I wanted to make sure that I gave proper credit to all of them. First of all, Derek from Van Oaks Props, thank you for not only donating prizes, but taking the time to be a judge as well. We've got Brian and Carissa from the Smuggler's Room. A huge thanks, goes without saying, and none of these people need my help talking about their channels. They're all super successful. I just want to make sure that I give credit where credit is due. James from the Rebel Base Build, he's the dreamy guy with the accent that does all the Star Wars stuff. Yeah, he's awesome too. Ron, CG artist, he's one of the guys that got me into making YouTube channels in the first place. His room build is amazing. Kelly from Props and Villainy, follow him on Instagram. He's been making some great stuff, and I'm just glad he doesn't have a YouTube channel. Aside from all of the work, his would be way better than mine. We've got Aedo from Fabworks. He's also helped me do some stuff trying to learn Illustrator, and Aedo Fabworks, he's got a new channel, go check his out. And Scott of Lord Eugene on Etsy. He makes really cool metal Star Wars currency, and he was a great help as well. Now, the video itself. I noticed that that video was terrible. It was awful, and I admit it was awful. I did that video editing all the way till late at night so that I could get it out in the morning so that it was available for everybody so we could find out who the winners were. And I went and watched that video back. Oh, there were all kinds of problems with that video, and that's what I want to talk about here in the notes. First of all, because I ad-libbed these and don't have a script or a teleprompter, I noticed that in that 13-minute video, I said cool 12 times. I said amazing 18 times, fantastic twice, and 7 greats. Now, it's hard to come up with a bunch of adjectives adjectives? See, I'm terrible at this. A bunch of adjectives to describe how great all of the entries actually were. And I said the same words a lot, but I meant it every single time. Now, I did some other things that I can't write off as, oh, I didn't have enough adjectives. Cameron, who did the Rancor Rage, Cameron's last name is Ferguson. When I put the title over his entry, forgot the G. His name isn't Ferguson, it's Cameron Ferguson, and I apologize for messing that up. And that's not the worst of the things that I messed up. The Sandcrawler entry, I said the right name. Jay, that's his name, but I put Braden on the screen. Right across. Braden. His name's Jay. I apologize. I'm really not that bright. And that gets me to one other thing that I wanted to talk about. I have some comments from people in the videos, and I worked in radio. I'm used to people and negative comments. But some of these I don't understand. I wanted to talk about some of the negative comments that I've received on my YouTube channel. Some of them maybe you can help me with. From Croker, his comment to one of my videos was simply, face. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's good or bad. Face. Emery said, all right, sure. I don't know if I get that one. Kansik said, I will do these tips, but definitely could have worked better on the video. Ow. That one kind of hurt. But he's not wrong, given the last video and how terrible it was, but this was my favorite. Beffin said, it's a coup video. I think it needs improvements because I've seen this be done better with my mom's advice. I'm sorry. So today, I'm going to be working on another project. So Odin last week talked about something that I was helping him out with my Glowforge. He had done some files and needed my help putting some things together. His channel is Odin Makes. I'm sure you already know about it. Again, these people don't need my help. I'm this big. Odin's got all kinds of people that are watching his channel, and I had all kinds of problems. I'm going to explain exactly what happened with those problems in that video for the weapon from the Eternals. I'm also working on another project for him, a secret project that I can't talk about, but he'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. But while that is going on, and while I'm busy screwing all of that up, yeah, there's some foreshadowing. You'll see later what winds up happening. But I'm also going to work on a couple different props. I have a Boba Fett full kit that I plan on doing, and it's a good thing I hadn't started yet because if you've seen the trailer, they changed a ton of stuff, and I've got some sanding to do with the helmet, and while I'm sanding, I thought I would make a blaster because a blaster case and all kinds of Star Wars weapons are in my future, and I need some more blasters. And I'm going to work on one and a helmet and screw up some stuff for Odin, and that's what I'm going to do on today's Try to Finish Something. So on the phone, Odin said he needed help cutting a few things, and look at this pile. It's actually a lot of things that he needs cut, and one is a secret that you'll find out about on his show tomorrow. The other is the Pheno weapon from the Eternals, and I've never cut non-Glowforge material on the Glowforge, so this will be a bit of an experiment, and it's thicker than I've ever cut too. And the other problem for me to solve is he and Joe made this with a ton of specific etching, all of these scrolling patterns that they need it to be cut on the front and cut on the back. So I have to figure out how to line it all up to work. And while everything cuts, it's going to take hours and hours, I'm going to work on this beautiful Boba helmet that I had Clever 3D Studios print for me. I told you their prints are outstanding. I mean, look how smooth this thing is. I'm going to work on this Boba blaster another day and convert it. I want to give it real wood grips and a real wood handle. But today I'm going to remake this EC-17 Scout Trooper blaster. I thought while I'm sanding, I might as well go nuts and just sand a few things while the Glowforge is working. I need more blasters because of this beauty. I found this old propane tank cage for free on Facebook Marketplace, and my wife couldn't have been more thrilled. What are you gonna do with that? I'm gonna make it into an ammo cage like these from Galaxy's Edge, and I need more weapons to fill it. I think this will look great in my soon-to-be converted Star Wars maker room. I'm gonna have this blaster rack with hanging weapons, kind of what Mando had inside of his ship. I also want crates of explosives like thermal detonators like they had in the ammo room in Rise of the Resistance at Galaxy's Edge. So first, with this Nerf gun, I'm going to sand off logos and writing and see if I can make this look a little bit better. I'm trying not to go nuts, as this is going to be on a rack in a cage. No one's even going to handle this thing, so I don't need to worry about the details. All right, side one of the Eternals weapon came out great. The full cuts on the acrylic, it's a bit spotty. It didn't make it through in some spots, and I'm not sure why. All right, he's got some foam for me to cut, and this stuff is a smoky mess, and I barely have the laser temperature even on. I think with all this smoke, I'm going to clean the laser lenses before I continue. So I wasn't recording me cleaning, and this would have saved me a ton of time. I would have known how to put the top mirror back in when I removed it from the Glowforge laser head. This mirror used to have this little blue-green handle, and I put it in upside down in the laser head, and the laser melted off the handle. Yeah, total fail. It just seemed to fit better with the handle down. The right way didn't seem to snap in.
I don't know. I messed up and I ordered a new one from Glowforge, and it should be here in a few days. I will go and bring the secret parts I did get cut and the Athena weapon to Odin tomorrow. Back to doing some sanding, and I'll just wait for FedEx to deliver my new mirror. I'm still not sure why it wasn't cutting all the way through, but maybe it just needed to be clean, and when I get the new mirror, I can test that out. I'm going to take the blaster apart and sand all of the bits. So now it's Thursday, and the tracking from FedEx says it's on time for my Wednesday delivery. Yep, you caught that right. It's Thursday, and it's on time for Wednesday. And I'm nowhere near Amboy, California. I don't even know where that is. Now it's Friday, and it says delivery pending, and it's in Madera. And I'm not there either, and I'm totally failing this build for Odin. So now it's Sunday night, and the replacement just now showed up. This is the one that I melted, and this is the new one with the handle. The handle goes up. I won't make that mistake again. So, in the meantime, I delivered the Athena weapon to Odin, and it was too small. It's just one failure after another. I made no changes to their drawing. I didn't have the actual dimensions they were looking for, so I didn't know what it should look like. I had no idea. I just cut what they sent me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a grid on the paper so that I can make sure that the placement and size is right for the next one. And this one looks perfect, but it still didn't cut all the way through in parts of the weapon. And these circle pieces for the secret project did cut through, but failed to cut on the third one at all, and it now won't even etch in these cryptic images. There's supposed to be way more of them, and it just stopped working.
Yeah, so as you can tell, things are not going well. I thought that there was an issue with the Glowforge that was caused by me because it stopped cutting all the way through the material, and I thought that the problem was maybe it just needed to be cleaned, which I do routinely. And then I went and put the mirror in upside down. It's a cool video, but could have worked better on it. So I melted that and then held up Odin because I was waiting for the part to be delivered, and it took forever to get here, which I don't understand since I paid for expedited shipping and kept sending Odin the screenshots saying, hey, it was supposed to be here Wednesday, even though it's Saturday, it's still not here. And I'm not making any excuses. I screwed up. I should have actually looked at the instructions on how to place it back in, and I put it in upside down, and I messed up. But then, as you notice, when the new one came and I put it in the right way, it was still not cutting all the way through the material. And after a bunch of back and forth with Glowforge, the tube was bad. They think. They're not 100% sure since I've used it less than 100 times. And they're wanting to send me a new one. Oh, not for free. I still have to pay. It's an extremely discounted price, and Glowforge has been great in this whole process, and they don't know what the problem is, and they're offering me a bunch of deals and trying to help me out to get another one so that I can get back up and running. But the bottom line is, it's a lot of money, and Christmas is right around the corner, and I feel bad spending money on myself when kids. So I'm going to get back to sanding, but I've reached whatever I can do with the Glowforge, and you'll have to find out about the secret project tomorrow on Odin's channel. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. Back to some sanding.
So with the Glowforge dead, I've delivered all that I can over to Odin. I was able to get the Athena weapon in the right dimensions and got that over to Odin, and a few things for his secret project. Nowhere near all of them, but hopefully, I don't know, enough to help. And I feel terrible. Odin has been super helpful with questions on how to get my channel up and going, and I really wanted to help. I've known Odin for a very long time, and I just wanted to help, and I'm a total failure. I will just keep sanding these parts and get this ready for some primer. Look at this helmet from Clever 3D Studio. It's so smooth. I printed my Mando helmet myself, and I had so much Bondo and filler in it just to make it passable. And I've just done some light sanding of this, and it already looks almost perfect. They've got some next level printing skills and are a great family business. I'm going to put their info in the video description. If you want to get some stuff printed and want to work with some quality people, go here. I'm going to be doing the full kit of this new Boba from the new series, and it's going to take me a while. Hopefully before the new series starts. I'm going to line the inside of this helmet with Bondo glass to give it a little more strength later, but I just wanted to get started on the sanding. These are just alcohol wipes that will evaporate quickly. I wasn't trying to stress about the accuracy on this blaster, but the whole time that I'm sanding the helmet, this trigger keeps looking at me, mocking me.
What trigger looks like that? That looks like a toy trigger. This doesn't look like a real trigger.
I wonder if I could cut this and use some styrene plastic to fill in the space behind where I cut. Let me sketch out the way I want it to look and cut that on the bandsaw. You know, the cut went okay. Now I just have to shape it and sand it. And cut a few strips of styrene to enclose that hollow space behind the trigger and on the handle side. Hey, look at that. With all of the Glowforge problems, I didn't expect that to work. Nothing else has for me. Let me sand that and hit it with a bit of black primer to see how it looks. I'm also going to give the helmet a spray of some gray filler primer. The helmet is so nice, I've really done very little with it. All right, the blaster pieces are ready for some assembly. In case you're wondering about the two-tone on the helmet and the primer for the Nerf blaster, I try and hit them with a full layer of one color or primer, and then I dust it with a different primer color. It helps show the high and the low spots when you're trying to do your final sanding. Now that it's assembled, I'm going to continue with my real hardware obsession and add some real Star Wars accurate Allen screws. I know, it's just hanging on a rack, Shawn. Why so much attention to detail? And I honestly have no good answer to that. And in the same way that you're worried about that vein, I'm filling in the holes that I'm not adding Allen screws to with spot putty. And I'm not worried about every seam, because I would assume if this were a real metal weapon, it would have to be assembled and it would have some of its own natural seams as well. And for the guy who's not worried about details, I'm going to go and add some sort of a styrene and greebly cover in the back where the Nerf darts would get loaded. And I've also hollowed out the side of this scope because I have what I think was a spray paint plug that rotates and has nice knurled hash marks on it. It could be maybe a dial for the adjustment on the scope. I know what you're thinking. I know. Move on, Shawn. Move on. All right, time for some weathering. I'm going to add some brown water-based oil paints and wipe those off to make this look more used. Now to add some silver rub and buff, and then I will weather over the silver with brown and black oil paints until I'm happy enough with the end result. Okay, the blaster is finished, and the first sanding and prep for the Boba helmet is also finished. I just need to work on these edges. Now, Odin's project, on the other hand, I don't know. It's as finished as it can be for now. Make sure to watch his channel tomorrow for the other secret project that I was working on. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. If you didn't, as always, just keep it to yourself, and we'll see you next time as we try to finish something.